Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Gone with the Gale, and today we have a special episode where the bear man from the Cherokee episode of Outlander paid our book club a visit. Hope you like it.
Hi everybody, I'm Flint Eagle. Feel free to Google me, IMDb me. I'm sorry you're not here. I really wish I'm sorry that I was just broke down in Cocoa Beach and wasn't able to make it. But I'm here now, and I'm here with your beautiful, wonderful friends, and thank you for having me.
Is Eagle, your last name, is that Mohawk?
It is. Actually, my real name is Ganya de Cums de Horanyate Agues. And yeah, it's all Mohawk. But the first and last name translated from Mohawk is Flint, and the last name Eagle. But Ganya and Flint, we are known as the Ganyan Gehaga, the people of the Flint. And but Ganya in Iroquoian history is the broken-hearted twin of the Creator. So I was named after the broken-hearted twin of the Creator.
Okay. When you were working with the first people, you were in the Cherokee. That's right, you didn't talk.
I was, but my character was Cherokee.
Yes.
Though I am Mohawk, my character was Cherokee. But the majority of the original cast that performed were not Cherokee.
I heard they were Cree.
Blackfoot, Cree. Most of them were from out west.
In Western Canada?
Yes, Western Canada. All the performers came from Western Canada, or came from Canada.
I just was so impressed with all of you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
I'm impressed with all of you too.
We'll pay you later. The ones who played the Cherokee and the Mohawks.
Oh yeah.
You guys were so good.
Oh, thank you. It was a beautiful effort by everyone.
I wanted to know. Matthew, Robert, went to the Cherokee reservation here and talked to them. And what the guy said, if you get it right, that would be good. Do you think maybe they got it right?
They got it right. They got it right. Everybody worked really hard. They had wonderful linguists on set to help with the dialogue. The wardrobe, the historical content of the wardrobe was amazing. By far, it is one of the best, or should I say, one of the films, for one, it's one of the greatest films I've worked on, but the integrity to accuracy on everything.
Thank Ronald D. Moore for that.
It was amazing.
And the costume designer was his wife.
Oh, wow. Wow. Just amazing. Amazing. Everybody was amazing. Even the Scottish wardrobe. I'm looking at these things and it's amazing. Just the spine stitching and the authenticity to everything. Now, I mean, there's some things that they got to do on a pinch,
Right.
but they do it as best they can.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Everything's amazing.
Okay.
Did I say that? It's amazing.
That's amazing.
So we have
I
a bunch of desserts. I was going to say what kind of cake.
Two things.
What kind of cake and chocolate cake?
The
Pear
one-
cake and lemon
the
cake.
male.
And there's donut pudding, which is like
Didn't
red
mind
bean
having
donut.
their head shaved.
And then
Yes.
a bunch of pie. How long did it take to shoot your particular scene?
My particular scene, well, they flew me out for 2 weeks prior to the scene. Flew me out for 2 weeks. The first week, the stunt coordinator and the fight coordinator, Molly is the fight coordinator, and Dominic Creasy is the stunt coordinator. We worked for the first week creating the fight together. You know, according to the script, working things out, making things a little more aggressive, a little more violent. The second week, we perfected the fight. And then Sam came in and we taught Sam the fight.
Oh, okay, so you
And-
learn it and then you talk to them.
Oh yeah. Because I was doing the fight with his stunt double,
Okay.
but not when we got to set.
Yeah.
Now we got to set, we're getting ready to shoot, and Sam says, "Well, where's Flint's stunt double?" And the director said, "Flint doesn't have a stunt double. He doesn't need a stunt double. He's doing it himself." Then Sam goes, "Then I don't want a stunt double. I'm going to do it myself." I'm like, okay.
And don't kill the star. Don't kill the star.
And there was only one section of the fight where we used the stunt double. It's when I dove on top of him.
Yeah,
And that was the only moment that we used the stunt double. And
it was a good time.
yeah.
Yeah, Sam has become a valuable commodity now.
I'm sorry?
He's become a valuable commodity now.
Oh, yes.
They don't want, I imagine they don't let him do a lot of
Yeah,
things
yeah.
he used to do.
Yeah, but he was determined to kill me. Nearly did.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about the actual fight.
Okay, the actual fight. We'll start with the weather.
Okay.
Let's choose.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's choose the wardrobe. Now in the beginning, they were thinking they were going to put a wetsuit on me,
Okay.
like and make it look like paint it and make it look like my skin. But we tried the wetsuit on because it was so cold. It was -12.
Oh, wow.
And
that's
and
right.
sleet and snow with a brief relief of rain.
I know they had terrible winter last
Oh, and we filmed it all at night.
year.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
have -12. Now we're shooting 14 hours
Yeah.
at night. Now I've got these leggings with my butt cheeks hanging out. I just got a little flap in the front, a little flap in the back. Wish I had a kilt. And no shirt, and this bear's head in arms over my shoulders and my back.
Oh, they did, wasn't a full skin?
It was a small bear, but he was hanging on my back. And I was Super Bear. Yes, that's right. But the weather was, and the wardrobe people, everybody, the crew, they tried their best to keep me as warm as they could. And the wardrobe people, they were, as soon as they'd say cut, they'd try to wrap me up. But sometimes we just go straight into filming again, straight into fighting again. And we fought, and we fought. Now we break it up in different scenes, different sections of the fight. And because we have to do from different angles. Now, Dominic Prizzi is the stunt coordinator, a magnificent coordinator and a magnificent man. They have 3 cameras on us, and the cameras are moving around. Okay, they're handheld. And so Dominic says, "Sam," he's like, "You gotta hit him." And Sam says, "No, I don't have to hit him." And he goes, "You have to hit him." And the director goes, "No, you really gotta hit him." And Sam looks at me and goes, "I'm sorry." Flint, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And because he said, if you pull a punch, if we see that you don't hit him or kick him or stomp him, then the camera's going to see it. The audience is going to see that. So Sam commenced to beating the crap out of him. Of course.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, I can't hit Sam.
No.
And Dominic says, "It's okay. He's a stunt man. It's okay, hit him."
And how bruised were you?
I was bruised head to toe.
Wow.
Head to toe.
Was he a good fighter?
It was a brutal fight. There was nothing pretty about it. It was brutal, but the intent was to be brutal, to be wild, to be monstrous.
I mean, it did.
I love
That's
that.
why.
That's one of my favorite episodes of Outlander. I watch it over and over. My brother will come over and watch it with me.
Oh,
I gotta watch the beer scene.
Yeah. Oh, it was, and it was cold. The worst of it all was cold. Was the cold, and of course when Sam impales me. Yes. Have you seen the episode?
Yes.
Okay.
We all have.
So, okay.
He's probably seen it a couple times.
There were a few moments
That's right.
when Sam the mark was supposed to be in the sternum, and it was just so cold. It was so late. We were so tired. It was so violent. It was so dark. You know, one time he hit me just below the clavicle, hit me right on the side of the neck. Here, it was just, you know, along with the fight. Now, along with the fight, you know, I'm surprised I'm not singing with the Vienna Boys Choir. And so, you know, like, Sam gives me the boots, but a little low. Accidentally. Okay, now mind you, the ground is wet and it's rough terrain and stuff like that. We're so into this fight, and I've got my claw on this hand, and Sam just hits me in a miserable place, and I'm like, to buy myself some time so I can get them back down out of my throat. But Sam's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
And you couldn't do anything back to him.
Oh, yeah. No, but we had a wonderful, wonderful time.
Was he bruised too?
I'm sure he was sore. I'm sure he was sore. But I didn't beat Sam. You know, it's like, that just isn't done. The stunt performer, the stunt professional does not injure the actor in any way, shape, or form. But because of the camera, because, you know, of fighting, it's like the injury to the stunt performer does occur. And that is the, you know, Sam. That was one of the funnest, most brutal fights that I've done in my 30-year career and over 400 movies and television shows. I would have to say that Sam is the most professional. No, I'm sorry, Cameron. Sam is one of the most professional performers I've ever worked with, as well as I would have to absolutely say the most precious that I've ever worked with. You know, I love Sam to death. You know, it's I can't wait to see him again. I can't wait to see him on another movie. Yeah, I still have to message Sam, and I need to find out. He did a feature film with what's that guy's name? Thank you so much.
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And
Yeah.
Sam, because I had previously worked with Vin Diesel on Triple X.
Are you doing
Oh, I
okay?
love
I need a box.
And
box also?
the last one that they did.
Yeah.
So I worked with Vin Diesel on that one, and so you know, so
It's probably fine.
it's just that Sam was asking me, you know, about his personality and how it was working with him, and I just had to talk to Sam about his feedback. Recontacted him
How was
about.
it working with Vin Diesel?
I had a really good time. I would have to say he's different.
I was gonna say he's different. He's a different kind
He's
of person.
he's a different person, different kind of person.
Yeah.
And I'll keep it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
Sam. How do you feel about Sam?
Oh, I love Sam.
Yeah.
Sam is Sam Heughan is one of my favorite people that I've worked with in my 30-year career.
I can see that.
In 30 years. Now, mind you, there's people I love, people wonderful, people that are just amazing. Demi Moore, Robert Duvall, just so I could go on and on and on. However, I didn't have to fight them like I did Sam. You know when you have a real big, close and personal fight with somebody, and it's not a field of people that you're battling.
Right.
When it's one on mano y mano,
Yeah.
you know, you develop a relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was wonderful. It was
What
wonderful.
month was that fight scene filmed?
Oh wow, what month was that? November, December.
Okay. The snow shut down production in like January or February for a day because it was so deep.
Oh, wow.
Nobody could get to work.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't there in January, February. However, they did bring me back for my dead body scene, and which I think,
Was that you on the Travis?
yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. It was me under it. At the last moment, they take the dummy out, and I crawl under, and then he raises it up.
So he didn't drag you?
So he didn't drag you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, like-
It was impossible. He wouldn't have been able to drag me.
Yeah, I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah, he would have rolled me.
Yeah.
I don't know, this bear's fat. Get him out of the roll, kick him.
So the first time Sam dragged to the Cherokee village was a dummy.
Yes. Until he dropped it,
Till he dropped it, and that was it.
and then they pan up for the dialogue.
Right.
They go to the dialogue. Okay, cut. Then Flint crawls under, and
So you had to fly back for that scene?
yes. And
Wow.
the scene. Now see. This is what I truly believe. I truly believe that we had such a wonderful time. We worked so hard that it was the producers. I firmly believe the production office, the production, that did that as a gift.
Yeah.
You know, they flew me back. They kept me. They kept me for over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. I was there for a week. I worked for 10 minutes, and then the rest was. They just said, enjoy your time, enjoy your vacation. So it was a I think a gratuitous vacation.
I think the producers are genuinely really nice people, and they're huge Outlander fans.
They are. They're wonderful.
You know the story. Terry Dresspop, Ronald D. Moore's wife, is her favorite book. And so when they started it, he and Merrill and Terry were at a dinner someplace in LA. And they handed the book to Merrill. And it's now her favorite book. And the story was, in the beginning, Ronald would say, "This is my wife's favorite book. I can't mess it up."
Like, I made you a new bun and stuff.
Thank you.
So there wasn't any bun. The cut and
Merrill,
right there, so
it's
you
her favorite book.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Doing okay, everybody?
Who's the other lady? Who's the producer?
Tony?
Photography.
How did you get into being a stunt double?
Well, I'm generally not a stunt double.
Okay.
I have doubled, feature actors. I'm mostly a stunt actor, and I do, on occasion, co-star in films. And the reason is because my personality. I'm always the bad guy. I can deliver some lines, and I can die. Really
I
violently.
can die really well.
I can,
I'm a good liar.
throw me down some stairs, set me on fire, blow me up, hit me with a car, throw me off a building. It's I do everything that I can, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was not something that I advanced or moved towards. My father was a professional fighter. My mother was a professional model, turning professional fighter for a short time before she became pregnant. My father was world heavyweight wrestling champion. My grandfather was world middle heavyweight wrestling champion. So I grew up in this very physical world. I lost my parents when I was a small child, and the government was going to put me in a residential school in Alberta. And my grandmother they were coming for me on a Saturday. My grandmother had basically abducted me. She tied a note around my neck, put me on an airplane Friday morning, and sent me to my grandmother who lived here in Florida.
Wow.
And to that extent, I was rescued. I was whisked away by I don't even remember what airline, but by my grandmother, and rescued from the horrors of residential school, Aboriginal children in residential school. And so I grew up here, but because my mother was born and grew up here, there was a great lineage that I was expected to, athletic lineage that I was expected to uphold. And so you know, in fighting. And so I went on to fighting, and I decided that I had reached a point where because you end up fighting your own friends, because the guys you train with, the people you get to know over the years, and these are your buddies, and you start having to fight them. And in order to win, you have to hurt them. And there was this boy who, at the time, was my best friend. For years, he'd been my best friend, and I ended up having to fight him, and it ended our friendship. And he never spoke to me again, and that broke my heart. And I didn't want to fight anymore, so I went on to do triathlons, and then just one day, with always in the back of my mind and in my heart to return to my reservation, which is Gunawanga, which is a Mohawk reservation just outside of Montreal. So during my bachelor's degree, I returned to my reservation because my grandmother was dying, and she wanted me to be with her. I wanted to be with her before she passed, and I returned to the reservation, and she passed, and ended up staying on the reservation because ultimately that's what had always been in my heart, was to return to my people, return to my culture, return to my language, return to my spirituality. And so I started racing canoes for Canada. I came in first in the Voyager Games, and all of a sudden it's just they were shooting a film, and the producers, they needed a native guy. I used to have a ponytail. They needed a native guy to paddle a canoe down some rapids. And so the band council said, oh, you know, call Flint Eagle. They gave me my number, and the rest is history. In the first year, I did 10 films, and I didn't even know I was in the industry. I thought the union was some type of mafia. I thought it was the mob. All of a sudden, it's like, because you know, you're watching those movies, you know, back in the day, and all the unions were run by gangsters and criminal affiliations. So the union calls me and says, well, you know, when are you going to come down and join the union? I'm like, well, I don't want to join in a union. They're like, hey, what's going on here? I'm an Indian on the reservation. I just want to beat people up. And they said, no, just come down. And I told them, I said, what's your angle? What's your game? What's your racket? You know? They said, well, just come down and talk to us, and then, and it's just been history. Now, you know, some years I average a minimum 10 films a year. I've done a little over 400 films and television shows. I make a living out of dying. That's basically what I do. And you know, I've been killed by the best, and now, honestly, I can tell you that I've been killed by the best. You know, it is by far. I've been killed by wonderful people. I've been killed by some of the best in the industry.
Killed by it.
You know, and repeatedly.
That's so cool. I went to school for
but you know, it was one of my. I have to say, it is one of the most wonderful deaths I've ever had.
So you did not know Sam before you filmed?
I did not know Sam before that. I had watched 3, perhaps 4 episodes, and I was hooked. And I was watching but I'm not hooked on the romance. I'm hooked on the violence. I'm hooked on the fight scenes. I'm hooked on, and I'm like, oh my God. It's like, I would love to work for this fight coordinator. I would love to work for the stunt coordinator. I would love to work on that show. It's just the fights are so great. Everything is so good, so well done, and so well shot, and so well directed. And 5 days later, they called me. It was just, I just said, oh my God, I would love to work on that show. I was just enamored by the fight scenes. And literally, 5 days later, they called us.
You put it out in the universe, and it comes out and tells you.
I mean, how did they find your name, and how did they come? It's interesting.
Yeah, it's good.
Humbly, I'm the #1 stunt performer, stunt actor in North America. Aboriginal, not not better than Italians, not better than white people, not better than just
Taking it the right way.
just the number one Native American stunt performer, stunt stunt actor, stunt fighter, stunt performer, and that's what they needed. That's what they wanted. They wanted violence, and so they called Canada, and to stunt coordinators and castings, and everybody said Flint Eagle, Flint Eagle, Flint Eagle. So my name kept coming up. Same as the Revenant. They said, "Oh, we need this guy to do this we don't know who we're going to get." And everybody they called, everybody said Flint Eagle, Flint Eagle, Flint Eagle.
That's great.
So that's primarily because I don't have an agent or anything like that. It's just they know my work.
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Word of mouth. They know my work and they call. Yeah.
Did you ever join the union?
Oh yes. Yeah. They talked me into it.
He don't talk him into it.
Hey, it's a union. Hey, my son, come to join the union. Hey. Yeah. Wow.
Now this guy in high school was like this.
Yeah.
Say, so tell us your exercise regime.
He was literally like this in high school. You were a bull.
I was 5'11" when I graduated, 132 pounds.
Yep. Yeah.
And 5'11".
Yeah. And he just.
Yeah. It was. Well, I returned to my reservation I believe I was 27 years old when I returned to my reservation, and we. As Haudenosaunee, we as Oklahoma, we as Mohawk, we are genetically different than other humans, and this is. I mean, you can research it. This is a fact. We possess where non-Iroquois peoples possess. It's either 27 to 29 omega cells. We only have 3, which means that. What you eat will kill us. What you eat, what generally people have been eating in majority society, has been killing us for 500 years with diabetes. So North American Aboriginal people are 10 times higher to have diabetes from eating cheese, from eating bread, from just like sugars and things that we are not made to eat because we only have 3 omega cells. Now, what we do have that you don't have is a thrifty gene. And the thrifty gene is only found in wild animals, which brings you to the conclusion, we were born to be wild.
Yeah.
I'm breaking the song. But the reality is we were born to be wild. We were born to be natural. We were born to eat raw meats. We were born to forage raw vegetables, raw fruits, raw meats. We can live longer without food and water than other humans because of this thrifty gene. Like a wolf, we were born to be wild. We were born to survive in wilderness. And I don't know where I was going.
No, because I was talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
It's right here, right 7 years old. I had gotten up to. I'm 5'11". I just hit 6 foot at 27, and I go back to my reservation. Now, I will tell you about enzymes. There are enzymes in wild meat that don't exist in other meats. So moose. I returned to my reservation, but I love moose raw. I drink the blood of moose. I drink the blood of deer. I eat the meat raw, but it's because I was designed that way. I'm genetically designed by creation to eat that way. And once you put heat to the meat and to the blood, it destroys the enzymes. So I started craving. I had a little taste of blood. Never know what's going to happen. And I began craving it. So I started eating more and more raw moose. In 2 years, I grew nearly 3 inches taller and went from, I think, maybe 160 pounds to 215 pounds. And, but just like muscle. And because I was born to be wild. Because once those enzymes that I had lacked all my life, which I needed entered into my system, it immediately stimulated the growth pattern. And do you guys know who David Suzuki is? The Nature of Things?
I've heard of the name.
Okay, he's a scientist and a professor and has these documentaries called The Nature of Things. But he did programs on this, on the North American Aboriginal people, the Iroquois, possessing 30 gene, and only 3 omega cells, and so on and so on and so on. If you want to see documentaries on it, and but that was the reason for my height. That was the reason for my greater strength. Perhaps my stunt madness. It was.
Are there any other tribes that are close to the Mohawk in your genetics?
Yeah, Seneca, Cayuga, Oneida, Onondaga. There's 128 Iroquois nations. We migrated from the south. Now everybody has that concept that we are the product of Bering Straits. We are not the product of the Bering Straits. We migrated from the Aztec and the Mayans. The Cree, the Dene, the Inuit, the Montagnais, they migrated from the Bering Straits. Though we are considered North American Aboriginal people, not all of us had migrated from the continent. The Salish, the Haida, the Northwest Coast BC Indians, they migrated from the Polynesian islands. Their original ancestors were Polynesian, whereas the Dene, the Cherokee or Iroquois, by the way. Anyway, so all theories have fact. All theories are true, but not for all Aboriginal people. My immediate my furthest ancestors are the Mayan and the Aztec.
Have you done the DNA? Or you're just saying in general you've traced it back?
Oh no, this is history. These are through history. Yeah.
What about like the Cheyenne and the Apache? Because they're pretty fierce. They were pretty fierce tribes.
They don't talk to me. I wonder why. What's up with that?
No, but are they? You don't know if they're.
Yeah, I'm not. I just follow the Iroquois.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I try not. What's that?
How tall are you?
I'm just under 6'3".
That's what I thought.
so you and Sam are the same height.
Yeah.
Because I think he's.
Wayayada. One of these days.
I told you already.
One of these days, you and me again.
Maybe in another movie.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said your character comes back in the later books.
Yeah. That's what I was told. That the.
I've read them all. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, the character. Well, see, this
It's been
is.
years since I read it, so I don't
Yeah,
remember.
the character comes back as a nightmare.
Ah.
The character comes back as a ghost image, a ghostly image, and a nightmare.
Because
So-
they're killing things.
Yeah.
That's right.
Listen, girls, when you come back, if you haven't tried it, try it. It's the chicken liver. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so good.
You tell the camera.
Dean, however, yeah, doesn't mind.
No,
Right.
Not me either. But I like black pudding. Did you have black pudding in Scotland?
I wasn't impressed. Haggis, though.
Haggis is awesome.
Okay,
I ate her haggis.
who in this room has had Jimmy Dean's? Jimmy Dean's? You haven't had Jimmy Dean's sausage. You have failed as a mother.
Sorry.
Jimmy Dean sauce.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Dean's
Yeah, okay.
real
Yeah.
pork sausage.
Yeah.
And the patties.
Yeah.
The patty sausage. Haggis tastes so much like Jimmy Dean's.
Oh,
No
Tennessee
other
fried,
sausage. It tastes close to Jimmy Dean's.
Just add a little oatmeal to it. That's
Yeah,
really
right.
the difference. You just mix oatmeal with sausage, and that's pretty much the same thing.
You know the Kilgrove Museum?
Yeah, I was not in it.
Okay, go. Are you going to Glasgow? Please go to Glasgow. please go to
We
Glasgow.
all want to go. We all want to go.
I prefer Glasgow.
We're trying to get and she.
I'm working on it. As soon as the dates open up, you can only book
I'm gonna tell
1 year
you,
ahead.
I'm gonna tell you a little thing. Go to the museum, and right across the street from the museum is the best steakhouse in all of Scotland. The butcher shop.
Okay.
Okay.
Go there, get the manager, and tell him Flint says hello.
Oh, wow.
We'll do
Oh
that.
my God. I walked in the first time, I was at the museum, walked in there, and I asked him, and now, I want to try haggis. I've never had haggis. I've never had haggis in my life. And you see all these cartoons making fun of, oh, the haggis. And so I asked if they had haggis, and they said, no, we don't have haggis, but don't you worry. Sent a busboy out. He says, we know where the best haggis in Scotland is. Sent the busboy out to a meat market, got haggis, came back, and they cooked it for me. Though they didn't have it on the menu, they went up to, he said, we want you to have the best haggis. If you're going to have haggis for the first time, we want you to have the best. And let me tell you, you've got to try the bone marrow, you've got to try the tomahawk, you've got to try everything they've got, because it truly is the best steakhouse in Scotland, let alone Glasgow. Oh, you'll love Glasgow. Go to Glasgow.
I love Glasgow. I've been there twice.
Oh,
Yeah,
She's been there once.
No, I've been there twice. I went with Christy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we walked around and went to the counting house down on Georgia Square. The bank that was turned into a bar. So they still have the vault and all that
Yeah.
stuff in the back. That was fun.
yeah, there are fans. I went to the Brass Monkey. Oh yeah. It was a bar. Yeah.
That's how we drove by.
In Glasgow, the Brass Monkey. Oh,
Yeah, 'cause I
you know,
remember
it was
somebody
such
said
a,
about
but
it on the
everybody,
bus.
everywhere I went, everyone was so wonderful. Outlander fan club in Scotland, and they've invited me to come back as their guest. They want to show me their Scotland. So that's on one of my future adventures.
Okay.
Is to go. There's
Very nice.
So
That's where we got
what
lost.
are you doing next?
well, that's a good question. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm currently doubling an actor on a vampire series.
What vampire series?
It's called Sunny Jim, and it's not out yet.
Okay.
And they've just been shooting episodes before it comes out.
Okay.
So one of the lead actors, I'm doubling, and just there's so many films coming out, and so I don't really know which ones I'm working on. I do know that I'm doing this one. I just got called for. They just sent me a script for another movie about a Wendigo. It's a horror film, because mostly I do horror films.
Okay.
And we have Guillermo del Toro is
Yeah.
let's see, what are we doing? 'Cause we wrapped up with The Strain. I was in 9 episodes of The Strain.
Okay. I know that I haven't watched it, but I do know.
Oh, you should watch it, because
Yeah, I
one
heard it
time
was-
you're going to see me killing myself.
Oh, that's very cool.
Because I play this Chicano gangbanger.
Yeah.
You know, like there's this Chicano gang killing vampires, and then they flip the camera, and then I'm a vampire. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
cool.
so it's like one day we shoot all the vampire stuff. One day vampires getting shot, dying, and falling off bridges and stuff like that. Getting all shot up, and then the next night we shoot the Chicanos killing everybody. And so it was really funny because they put it in the show.
Yeah.
You see me as a Chicano, the big bandana, you know, stuff, and killing myself.
Did they mean for that to happen? Or?
I don't know, but I think maybe because they did it to me in another film
Okay.
where it was like I was a Palestinian insurgent, and on one side shooting at these army guys, and then they flipped the camera, and I was the army guy shooting myself out.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's a mind trip for the people watching the movie.
It's
kind of thing.
it's just really funny, some of the stuff they do. Are you familiar with the TV series Covert Affairs?
No,
Yeah.
I watched every episode.
Okay, go back. because you're going to see me in over half the episodes now.
Really?
And Piper,
love
like
it.
when we wrapped the show, Piper said that they wanted to do a spoof film called Flint Affairs because I was played so many characters in so many episodes.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to go
Yeah.
watch the whole
Yeah.
thing again.
Yeah, me too. I loved that
Yeah.
show.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
good.
so upset
Oh.
when they took it off.
Yeah, Stephen and Piper got married. I think Piper, I don't know if they've had a child yet.
Stephen who?
Stephen K.
Okay.
He was one of the producers.
Okay.
He also would direct. But Stephen, I love Stephen. I love Piper. Just wonderful.
Oh yeah,
just
she was
incredible.
great. She
Yeah,
was absolutely
fantastic.
great in it.
But we had so much
Now
fun.
you were in Boondock Saints?
I was in Boondock Saints
Oh, really?
too.
Yeah. Now,
That is one of my all-time
Okay,
favorites.
go back, and I'm in the bar. I'm one of the Italian guys. I stick my gun up the guy's butt, and I'm like, Aaron go brag. What the fuck is that?
I gotta try my.
Boondock Saints.
You were in Boondock Saints?
What's that?
Was that the first one?
Second.
I got to meet him.
Nice.
Well, you know, Norman, why aren't you in The Walking Dead?
Well, they called me to come out to The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
However, I was working on so many other films that I just never had time to work on.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Yeah.
You gotta be one of the evil people
Yeah,
in
that's
Lucifer.
what I do. That's what I do. What do you mean, gotta be?
Could you act like an evil person? This is so cool.
Thank you all for having me.
We're so glad
You
you
know what?
came.
Thank you
Really,
for
thank you
inviting
so
me.
much for coming. I've enjoyed this so. I'm sure we all have, but I've just really enjoyed
Yeah, I
this.
really,
thank you so
thank
much.
you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Do it.
Why don't you all come up while the video's running and let's all say hello to the girls that aren't here.
Why do they call it a kilt?
Because you're dead.
No, because the last person that called it a dress was
Kills.
kilt.
Hi, girls, and thank you for having me. I'm sorry I missed you, and I hope you get this. And hello, everybody. Let's say hi.
Hi, girls.
And,
They're in here.
and when I return to Florida again, I'll just contact Dean, and
Yes.
then we can all have another visit.
This will be great.
Yay.
And we'll catch up. Yes.
Maybe at a brewery.
Yes, we actually do go
I
to a
know,
bar.
California
Yes.
brewery. Okay, next time a brewery.
Okay, next time a brewery.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.